All right. Good evening, everyone. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. And as Jody was telling me earlier, this is our last one.
Yep.
All right.
Season 4 is concluding.
All right. I didn't know we had seasons, but what we're going to do right now is share our intro video. That way you can like, share, and comment. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
I must confess that that dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare. Now, the other thing that we've got to come to see now that many of us didn't see too well during the last 10 years, that is that racism
not guilty
is still alive in American society and much more widespread.
Broke his neck after Baltimore police.
A handful of protesters, a handful of criminals and thugs who...
Many in moments of anger, many in moments of deep bitterness, engage in riots. And as long as America postpones justice, we stand in the position of having these recurrences of violence and riots over and over again. Social justice and progress are the absolute guarantors of riot prevention.
Mr. Gray's death was a homicide.
The Negro was freed from the bondage of physical slavery.
The athletes marched onto a stage.
But at the same time, the nation refused to give him land to make that freedom meaningful. Freedom without land to cultivate. Freedom and famine at the same time.
And create jobs for our people.
The Negro is to be free. He must move down into the inner resources of his own soul and sign with a pen and ink of self-assertive manhood his own Emancipation Proclamation. But I want to get the language right tonight. I want to get the language so right that everybody here will cry out, yes, I'm black, I'm proud of it, I'm black and beautiful. Individually, we are poor when you compare us with white society in America. We are poor. Collectively, we are richer than all the nations in the world with the exception of 9. That's power right there if we know how to prove it. We begin the process of building a greater economic base. And at the same time, we are putting pressure where it really hurts. We don't have to argue with anybody. We just need to go around to these stores and to these massive industries in our country. Say, God sent us by here to say to you that you're not treating his children right. We come by here to ask you to make the first item on your agenda fair treatment where God's children are concerned. Now, if you're not prepared to do that, we do have an agenda that we must follow. And our agenda calls for withdrawing economic support from you. We mean business now, and we are determined to gain our rightful place in God's world.
Okay, see, you just stumbled all of my words. All right, we're live now. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. Something's going on with my ear. Where we come to you live from Mott Branch Library every week and talk about the things that we've done last week, the things that we're working on right now and a few of the things that's coming up in the future. Hey, let's do some intros. Am I still live on YouTube?
Yep. Just keep on.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, family, look, this is live. It's our last show, and it looks like I'm having some technical difficulties. So if we're froze on Facebook, but you can hear us, it is what it is. Let's get into some intros. I'm Brother Washington Muhammad. I'm one of the co-founders of CSRN, along with Mike Leonardi and Jabril Bey. Jody, 10 years ago, we had this idea of Community Solidarity Day. They put it together, and then later on, they called me in and asked to plan a couple of things. And here we are 10 years later. What am I wearing? I've got my Justice or Else shirt on because it's that Justice or Else season. That's when we advocate for spending with your own. We spend almost $2 trillion a year. And hardly any of it comes back into our community. We'll be talking about that a little bit later on. I've got my beads, and as always, I'm dedicated to respecting, protecting, and defending all Black bodies, no matter the cost, no matter the gains or loss. This is the home of Black Lives Matter and Justice or Else. Before we even go any further, let me refresh and see if I can come back in here, and maybe I'll only have one mistake today. Let's see what's going to happen with this. All right. We're not going to do that. All right. So it looks like, is it going a little bit slower than normal?
Yeah. And it's the end of the year. We'd have had drones.
Okay.
We'd
all
have
right. Yeah, we're back. Okay, we're back.
cities.
We're back. Hey, that's all I had to do was refresh it. And thanks for doing that soft shoe while I get through all right. Hey, listen, Jody, could you give your intro? Then we're going to get into our mission statement, guiding principle. And if you're listening in, let us know if our sound is okay because, I think our sound is okay.
Yep.
But just check in the chat. Let us know
We'd
if the
love
sound
to
is
see you in
okay.
the comments.
All right. Let's get into your intros, and then we're going to take a break and come back with, I think, Dr. Pattin.
What's up, everybody? Jody J. Summers, child of the system, better known as Spoken Truth, the treasurer of this wonderful organization. And as we said, we do this unsponsored, straight from the community. There have been hiccups, but this is season 4.
I know, man.
Season 4.
Why today?
And we're about to be off, so I do want to forefront that the story with, we ain't gonna see you till the 7th. Because we're taking 2 weeks off, which is actually like our longest vacation time. We take maybe 1, 2, 3 days off during the year.
Whenever you say, I think we should take more.
But this is like the extended vacation. We get 2 back-to-back because the New Year's and the Boxing Jesus Christmas Day, all that stuff falls on a Tuesday this year.
Don't get me canceled.
But so that's why we won't be back for 2 weeks. But normally it's election time or stuff like that. So this is an exciting thing. It's exciting to be in 4 seasons. For those of you that have been listening and watching for the last 4 years, we started taking our video live minutes and turned them in the form of podcasts from just our phones.
That's right.
Houses, inside churches and Studio E. This is like Studio Z. Thanks to the Mott Branch Library, rolls out the red, black, and green carpet for us, as Brother Washington says every single year. And it's a hype because we got a lot of people in the studio. So I'm going to try and run through this all real quick while I'm networking and pushing stuff out to the people who want to see it. If you missed the frozen part, that's okay.
That's right.
We also describe ourselves because we know that around this time you could be taking kids to school, getting off work, other stuff. Most of our views we know come from afterwards. We've heard that our voices are awesome to fall asleep to or get amped up to, depending on which side of the spectrum you're on. So I am a big brown bear of a man that is covered in tattoos and crystals and stones and bones and artifacts from 10 years ago, finding not only myself through art, but an organization that has been going for
10 years.
Yeah. So
and this is our victory lap too.
This is our victory lap. A little bit of tired lap. Here's some popping and some bones, but we're always trying to engage new and younger generations. So podcast. We are still ever vigilantly out in the streets as much as we are. We just ain't got too much to protest because we have created a lot of things and working ourselves out of the jobs for injustice that we wanted to. Everybody isn't around for the long haul. This is our long haul. How do you get there? Whether you're starting a food business, art company, a film and production, clothing brand, activism, anarchy, running for politics, have to be kind of process that have some mission statement
and our guiding principles,
which is like the walls and foundation, because when you are trying to build a legacy, there will be many people who have dreams but no reality to hold you down. So to get there, you have to have some good and decent borders and boundaries and stuff that, you know, well, I'm the difference between an ally and an advocate. I threw that.
Don't be messing me up, all right?
An advocate and an ally, that I can be there for certain things, save the wills and stuff like that. But I have lived through Black history. I am Black history. So these are one of the things that's always going to be not budgeable with me.
Okay.
Anyway.
Tell us how you really feel, all right?
We are the Community Solidarity Response Network of Toledo, formed on November 25th, 2014, the day after it was announced that the killer, a Ferguson, Missouri police officer of Michael Brown, an unarmed teenager, would not be indicted. We bring awareness to the injustices experienced by Black men, women, and children who are disproportionately murdered, attacked, provoked, and harassed by law enforcement. Police brutality has to end. We bring awareness to the fact that most often, yes, most often, police brutality goes without consequence or accountability. We utilize police impunity has to end. We utilize the tactics of protest, civil disobedience, event disruption, and citizen advocacy to give voice, yes, voice to those who are otherwise voiceless. We facilitate progressive, community-based events that help foster self-development, and we discuss measures to hold local leadership accountable, yes, accountable to their sworn duties, be they politician, clergy, law enforcement, educators, etc., etc. We want justice, equal justice under the law. We want justice applied equally to all, yes, all, regardless of class, creed, or color. For all lives to matter, Black lives, yes, Black lives must matter. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr.
And maybe later on we'll get into some Black Lives Matter moments.
Maybe so, if we got the time.
All right. These are our guiding principles. Whenever you have a grassroots organization, but this is kind of different because we have all of the activists that came together and said we could do it together, but everybody has a strong opinion. And how do you do this without imploding? We have our CSRN guiding principles, and they go as follow. All Black lives matter, queer Black lives, trans Black lives, formerly and presently incarcerated Black lives, poor working class Black lives, wealthy Black lives, differently able Black lives, Black men and women lives, immigrant Black lives, Black elderly and children lives. All Black lives matter and are the creators of this space. We throw no one under the bus. We rise together. Ashe.
Ashe.
And Ashe means one who changes a thing or one who makes a thing happen. Thriving instead of surviving. Our vision is based on the world we want, not the one we're currently in. We seek to transform, not simply react. We want our people to thrive, not just exist. Think beyond the possible. Ashe.
Ashe.
Experimentation and innovation must be built into our work. Embrace the best tools, practices, and tactics, and leave those behind that no longer serve us. Ashe.
Ashe.
Evaluation and assessment must be built into our culture. Critical reflection must be a part of all of our work. We learn from our mistakes and our victories. Ashe.
Ashe.
Principal struggle can exist in a positive environment. We must be honest with one another by embracing direct, loving communication. Ashe.
Ashe.
Love, self-love is practiced in every element of all we do. Love and self-love must be a driver of our work and an indicator of our success. Without this principle and without healing, we will harm each other and undermine our movement. Ashe.
Ashe.
360-degree vision. We honor past struggles and wisdom from elders. The work we do today builds the foundations of movements of tomorrow. We consider our mark on future generations. Ashe.
Ashe.
Self-care means we build resilient spaces by budgeting time, energy, and resources for healing. Self-care is a regular, consistent, intentional, and essential practice. Ashe.
Ashe.
The most directly affected people are experts at their own lives and should be in leadership at the center of our movement and telling their stories directly. Ashe?
Ashe.
Training and leadership development should be fundamental. Our movement must constantly grow, and leadership must constantly multiply. Ashe.
Ashe. I just want to say something real quick. I don't know if the audience can hear that. There's an awesome reverb in the audience for our green room, which, you know, we didn't mention. I heard it the second time. I was like, that is beautiful.
Okay, I hope so. All right.
Just me and Brother Washington talking to
ourselves. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I wonder if they can hear. All right. I wonder if they can hear our
family in the room.
All right. Hey, listen, let's take a short break. Come back. We have some dynamite guests today. We can do that. Take a short break.
Yeah,
come back.
Yeah. Take a short break.
And also, hopefully we have enough time for our victory lap of some Black Lives Matter.
Time. This is our show.
Oh, okay. All right. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. We'll be right back.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call digital edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. As we said, we come to you live every Tuesday. We talk about the things that we've done last week, and we'll get into that with our solutions and shout outs. We talk about the things that we're doing, that we've got coming up. We got Kwanzaa coming up. We've got one of the leaders of Toledo Kwanzaa House in the building, Jody. All right. And we talk about the things that's happening right now. As always, a CSRN tradition is whenever we have a guest, and we got a high-level guest today, not saying that Rodney or Haley not high level, but they are. But we do have a special guest. So for our listeners, who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
Sure. So my name is Dr. Anthony Pattin, and I would say I'm wearing the usual pharmacist swag today. So it's been a shirt, tie, little polo shirt today. So I've had some media over to the pharmacy. Today is our opening day. So that's what I'm wearing today.
All right. Junction Family Pharmacy. And family, you can see the logo in the lower right-hand corner of the podcast. How did that come from a thought to reality?
Yes, well, I have to tell you, I'm from Toledo, Ohio, but I recently lived in Buffalo, New York. So I'm just relocating back here.
Okay.
And I worked with a gentleman, Steve Giroux, who owns 7 pharmacies. I was working with him while working at the university at Buffalo. And just seeing him working in his pharmacy, helping his community, it just really inspired me because that's why I went into pharmacy. So I just thought like, I really like this. I think I'm ready for a career change. And what really accelerated it was with Rite Aid leaving Toledo, they decided to let's push forward even more quickly. Because I was thinking of maybe a year or two down the road. But with that, there's a need. There's a need in the community. So I'm here to serve that need.
Okay, so I see a lot of pharmacies popping up, but they're popping up outside of where I live. Why right here? Why right here and why right now?
Well, for me, I'm doctor of pharmacy. I'm a licensed pharmacist, not only in Ohio, but in Michigan, as well as the state of New York. I've practiced pharmacy for 15 years. And I've worked in many different locations. But I wanted to serve my community. I wanted to serve people that look like me, honestly. I haven't had an opportunity to do that. I've worked in many various places. And I've been a professor for 15 years. So I've mostly taught students how to be pharmacists. But coming here where there's a great need, there are 2 Rite Aid locations that were close by that closed. It just provided an opportunity to bring my talents here.
All right. So I was watching the live earlier from today's opening. I saw how many people were engaging you. So can you give us a location? Where's the pharmacy? And what are the hours?
Sure. So we are on the corner of Doran Junction. Our address is 1339 Dorr Street, Unit A. And that's Toledo, Ohio, 43607. And we're in the strip mall. It's actually a special location too, because that's where the Toledo Urban Credit Union started. That was their original location.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
I did not realize that.
Yes.
All right.
So we're in that location where they were. And so our hours were Monday through Friday, 9:30 to 6 p.m. We're just getting started. So with me being the pharmacist, I may be out doing screenings. I'm recruiting, trying to get people. So you may stop by. Maybe you don't see me there. I'll be gone an hour. Is because I'm out trying to recruit people to come to the pharmacy. So you can always give me a call. My phone number there is 419-757-8500. And I'll also be open on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We'll be closed on Sundays. And I'll be there. I'm just looking forward to being the neighborhood of pharmacists. I want to be the guy that people know, come and see me, tell me what's going on. And we try to work with your health.
All right. I stopped by the pharmacy. I think you were just getting all the computers in. So you also talked about the potential to have deliveries.
Yes. And in this day and age, deliveries, especially for independent pharmacy, are key. So most pharmacies you'll find that they'll offer that particular service. So we definitely will offer deliveries as well to our patients.
What about mental health and wellness checks is a big thing now. Do you see yourself applying that within some of the things that you do?
Yes. So for me, I bring the academic background. So I have an interest of not only just filling prescriptions and doing the baseline pharmacy. I really want it to be a clinically oriented and have programs and things. I really want to help improve the health of the community. So we will be doing many things. We're gonna have to grow into that because we're a new pharmacy. So
I want it tomorrow. That's what Jody said. All right.
Yeah, like we have to grow into that. So we first do have to bring in prescriptions and that kind of thing, and then we're gonna grow into a role where we can actually bill for things such as counseling.
All right.
So we can counsel people about their medications, and then as we're able to do that, we can grow into partnerships, and we can partner with other outside the community and work together. One of the ideas that I have is that I would like to form a council of our pastors, like a health council of local pastors and those that would like to participate, because the research shows that, especially in the African American community, the pastors have a great influence over health.
Right.
And so I would like to create that where we meet quarterly and we discuss health issues. Perhaps they can bring their concerns and tell us what their need, because it's oftentimes the health providers telling people what they should do, but sometimes we have to sit and listen to others so that we learn how to help people better. And also maybe we can bring in other speakers and we can learn more from them. So there's a lot of ideas that I have, but I think the most important thing to know is that I am here. You know, I'm from Toledo, Ohio. I grew up here. I went to Martin Luther King Junior School here when it was on Lawrence there in kindergarten. My great grandmother had a house over here. So this is where I'm from. So I will be here, and we're going to grow into that. It'll take some time.
All right. Well, when you get ready to have the quarterly meetings with our pastors, I could be your chief arm twister. All right. Yeah. So because this is something important, and most of us in the faith community, we have an audience. All right.
That's
right. And it's important for us to talk about the scripture in a historical perspective. However, we need Dr. Pattin. We need to let our people know how to stay well, how to make the decisions that they need to make in order to live life more abundantly. That's what we say in scripture. So we've got Dr. Pattin here to help us along the way. And his pharmacy is right down the street from our church. It's right down the street from your temple. It's right down the street from your mosque. So a lot of us have zero to no excuses by embracing this. So I'm ready. I'm ready for that. Oh, one of my last questions. How did you become interested in pharmacy?
Sure, that's a very good question. So, actually, when I was a student in high school, I helped a neighbor of mine, and she had to do mail order with her medications. So I'm just a high school student. I didn't know anything about medications, but I helped her through that issue. And she was an older adult lady, so she go to pharmacy camp.
Okay, awesome.
Camp. So I was 17 years old, signed up for pharmacy camp at the University of Toledo. I stayed on campus and I got to shadow several pharmacists. And I decided I really liked this field. I was great in math and science and wanted to help people. So I enrolled in the program at the University of Toledo.
All right. What would you say are maybe three of the most rewarding aspects of what you do?
Well, the public really entrusts us with a great deal of trust. We're handling dangerous drugs and medications. So being able to help people through that is wonderful. I think also being able to catch a mistake. So there have been several mistakes I've caught where actually a child would have been overdosed. So I caught that mistake. We got that error fixed. And so I felt like, I saved a life. So that's a great feeling to use your knowledge and expertise to actually help somebody. And also just the interaction with people. I mean, that's what's really what it's about, is having that dialogue and that relationship with people. Because as people are coming in, like starting this pharmacy now, down the road, maybe they'll have their kids and then their kids will grow up. I'll get to see that. And then,
awesome.
Maybe their kids are kids. So that's what's exciting.
All right. Here's the bonus question. We have one of our members, Anika Fields. I'm sure she's watching this. If she's not, she may be watching it later on. She checked in with us earlier. She does the Empowerment Toolbox, and she asks us all the time 3 things that we're grateful for. So, and also we journal. She makes us do journaling. So we're going to ask you, Dr. Pattin, Can you give us 3 things that you're grateful for? What would those things be?
I'm grateful really for family. I mean, this has been a big endeavor. So my wife, Carla Pattin, my daughter, Mackenzie Pattin, as well as just all of my family, extended family have been really supportive. Going through this time opening a pharmacy, you can imagine it's a great task, great big task. I'm grateful for I opened the pharmacy.
That's right.
That's huge.
Yeah, there's
been a lot of work up to that.
Yeah.
So I'm just grateful to be able to have a computer, prescription sent in, it's working. So that's definitely something that I'm thankful for. And then 2, I think I'm really thankful for this opportunity. I mean, not many people get an opportunity like this that I have to help and serve in a community in such a way to use their talents. I mean, I'm using exactly what I went to school for.
That's right.
To help people. So I'm grateful for the opportunity.
All right. I think I'm trying to think. We had something else that we wanted to ask you. Would you be willing to come back at another time and let us know that of what's happening with the pharmacy, and maybe we can even have some Junction Family Pharmacy literature that we could pass out to all of our guests that come in.
Absolutely. I would love to come back. And I would love to eventually collaborate together because I'm right across the street.
That's right.
So we're definitely going to grow into that. So this won't be the last time you see me.
That's awesome. All right. Hey, listen, we look forward to seeing you again. And family, if you experience us having any technical difficulties, it's our last show, Jody. And why would it happen on our last show? Hey, family, this is the CSRN podcast.
Canal.
En esta hermosísima ciudad de Orlando.
I'm here in Barranquilla, Colombia, and in sunny Miami. Daytona Beach, mis amigos, that's where we're at today.
Desde la ciudad de Cartagena, Colombia.
We are in Orlando right now, here in Florida.
I'm Helene Sheets, Director of Marketing and Communications at beautiful Lourdes University, and we've been a proud sponsor and supporter of Voces Latinas TV for over a decade. It has been a fantastic partnership. It's been our doorway into the Latino community. We've met so many incredible people, created so many partnerships. Our students absolutely love the connections we've made through Voces Latinas TV, and we're looking forward to at least another decade, 2 decades.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our weekend review. And family, if you're watching us, if you saw us freeze up, if you saw our sound go out, man, I don't know what it is about today. This was probably the first time that we did everything that we could have possibly done to have a problem-free podcast that's live. And hey, it is what it is. Family, we are back. We have a special guest with us today. And as we do with CSRN tradition, we ask them what their name is, what they're wearing, and what we're talking about. So who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
Well, my name is Rodney Gordon II. I am currently wearing my grandfather's hoodie, My Hero Academia t-shirt, and some jeans. And I am currently here to talk to you all about the annual Toledo area Kwanzaa celebration that I am heading up this year.
All right. So I participated with Kwanzaa for quite some time. You're a bit younger than I am, by maybe a couple of years or so. All right. Give or take 3 or 4 decades. For you as a young person, why do you think it's important to embrace Kwanzaa and know about Kwanzaa?
Well, you know me literally my entire life, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Let's beat around the bush. I've been in the Kwanzaa community since I was born. My grandmother is the one who brought it here, Mother Diane Gordon. I love her to death. Got to shout her out every chance I get. And because of that, I've grown up with the Kwanzaa principles just embedded in my everyday life. And when I was younger, not gonna lie, I didn't really understand it as much as it was just words that were being said at me. But because I had that foundation, as I grew up, I was able to understand what these things mean and digest them over time and really come to terms with them as I became an adult.
All right. So Kwanzaa this year, we're at the Doug. All right, let's put that screen up. All right. We're at the Doug. And what's the first day and what's the last day?
Okay, so we're starting on December 26th. We're going to the New Year's Day, January 1st. Going to be happening around 7 o'clock at night, all those nights. And you're going to be able to come out, celebrate our community. Our first day is Umoja, Unity. So that way, if everybody comes in, we really set the tone for what the celebration is all about. We're going to have our brother Washington over here speaking on that day.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's right.
Yep. And then we're going to have people come in. We're just going to talk about the community, how we can better understand each other, better help each other, and grow as a people.
All right. So how have you benefited from growing up? I don't think there's ever been a time that you did not know about Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
All right. How do you think you benefited from these principles?
Well, first, I know all of them from the front and back, from the top of my head. You know, you got Umoja, Kuji Chagalia, Ujima, Nia, Kumba, and of course Amani. And all of those have impacted my life in a very different way as time has gone on. Be it, unity, understanding that, or self-determination, or cooperative economics, things like that, or just understanding that working together with my community makes things easier. Then you also have things like creativity and faith. I'm a pro wrestler. I literally have to be creative as often as I can. And when I do that, I have to have faith that everything is going to work out. And my purpose as of right now is to help the community come together and understand that we are one people and that we are all in this together.
All right. So when we meet as a Toledo Kwanzaa house, we meet, I think Diane always has us starting out in August. And then we finally get everything together. All right. I hope she didn't hear me say that. But all right. So I've got Umoja Unity. That's my day. Do you have a favorite principle?
Easily creativity. I mean, out of all of them, that was the one that even as a child I completely understood, because just life can be very mundane, and having the imagination to create something new is what makes it exciting. in my opinion. And again, I love art. I love music. I love poetry. Some of my best friends are artists and musicians, and they're also going to be in attendance on the creativity night. That's the night I'm most excited for, because I actually get to have one of my best friends come in, play some music, and also speak on the pieces that he's playing. So I would definitely say that's my favorite.
All right. Lastly, when it comes to Kwanzaa, what would you say some of the misconceptions that you've heard that Kwanzaa is, but it's obviously not?
It's more so people just don't really understand what Kwanzaa is as a whole. They just hear it's Kwanzaa, oh, it's a black holiday, and they don't really look into it more. It's more than just a black holiday. It's a celebration of culture, of heritage, of ancestry. It's the understanding that we are a community. We are a group of people that need each other, even though people and society tries to tell us that we need to be more individualistic. Trying to be more connected with a community is a better way to go.
All right. So a couple of years ago, Mother Gordon had the idea that she really wanted to turn things over to the younger people. All right. And obviously, I think you were like the first in line. All right. So for you, what's it been like being a leader and having people my age have to follow?
Surreal. Again, I've been doing this again since I could walk. I've been going to Kwanzaa celebrations at the Wayman Palmer, at the Doug.
That's right.
Since I was a child. When I first learned how to drive, I'm driving up there, bringing supplies and stuff. So now to have to be in charge, it's a bit of a change. And there's still obviously that going to my grandmother and being like, hey, am I doing this right? Because there is that question in my head, of course, coming back from, not doing this as long as I have, or being in one role and having to shift to that next one. But it comes with progress and time, but I've definitely been having to come to terms with it.
Well, I think for me, it's been great for me, because I'll call you, hey, Rodney, what do you want me to do? Yeah. Whatever you need done, just let me know. And if there's any of us, I don't think any of us give any real pushback, because if we say, as the older people, we always say that we wish our young people would step up. All right. But most times it's us in the way.
Honestly, I don't get any pushback. The only thing I get is, hey, this is how we were doing it before, just because I don't know. And I really appreciate that knowledge, because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like you guys have been doing it for 40 some years. You don't know what you're talking about. You obviously are handing something to me that you care much about. So I'm going to ask questions, make sure I'm handling it with care.
And I'm going to double down on that type of stuff. Sometimes tradition may not be a good thing. All right. Sometimes things have to change.
I do believe that things can change, but there's also a reason. Like, there has to be a reason for the change. It can't just be, I want to change things because I want to change things. I want to look at everything that we're doing and change things that only need to be changed because of, like, hey, it's 2024. We need to change, get with the times. But overall, there is a way to do both at the same time.
Hey, would you be willing to come back at another time? And we're going to meet during Kwanzaa.
Oh, yeah, let's say
we'll be streaming live. Right. We'll be streaming live during Kwanzaa. We'll have Rodney on to talk about the progression of the days, the progression of the principles. Yeah. Would you mind just having a sit down while we're there?
Of course. Because you're saying we're not going to have the show. We're going to have the show Kwanzaa. I believe that's the creativity day, actually.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be, Joey's going to be there. And that's going to be my favorite day. I'm going to be hyped. So, of course, we're going to be there.
All right. Hey, we're going to take a short break and come back. This is the CSRN podcast, a week in review. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Dr. P. Not only am I a leadership coach, I'm a change agent, and I'm a race scholar. I've used my study of race to dismantle systems and organizations, but I also use that to help you as the individual become a better leader for your families and for your community.
Did you know addiction is a disease, not a moral dilemma? The opioid epidemic and substance use have a major impact on communities of color and many people's lives. Wasion Wellness Recovery Support Center offers culturally relevant, inpatient and outpatient behavioral health treatment and recovery support services to any Ohioan struggling with addiction, mental health, or finding sober, safe housing. We must recognize that treatment is available and accessible to all. If you are in need of treatment or want to find out more information, you can call 1-888-728-2713 to talk to someone or schedule an appointment.
All right, we are back. This is the CSRN podcast, our week in review. And if you're watching this and if it froze up and you heard our voices and you heard Jody talk about how much he hates me, hey, you weren't supposed to hear that part. All right. But it's our last show. I don't know why we're having these hiccups or these bugs or gremlins or whatever, but it is what it is. This is our last show. And who better, Jody, to have on our last show of the year. So as we do, we always ask who you are. What are you wearing? Because she got her swag on today. And what are we talking about? So who are you? What are you wearing? And what are we talking about today?
I am Haley with Pretty Protection. Today I have on my black Pretty Protection sweatshirt, black joggers, and scrunch socks and Nikes. Pretty simple.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, seems like she would have brought a couple of those for us if it was that simple. All right. Pretty Protection. What is Pretty Protection, and why is it important that we know what it is you do, and why is it important?
Pretty Protection. So what we do, we sell self-defense items that's aimed towards adults, women, and particularly in kids, but we do have something for everyone. That's just what we are doing now. We are also, as of January, we're growing in so many different areas. So there's some certifications we're coming up with. Also, my brother, I believe he was on here a couple weeks ago, TRX.
Oh, yeah,
Tactical.
absolutely.
So we're linking together. We'll have a CCW class coming up in January as well. I start taking some more certifications in January just to advance my knowledge as far as self-defense, as far as being protected. So yeah, I'm starting a traveling agent business in January as well. And then as we'll talk about, we'll have the girls group as well that I'll be helping out with.
All right. I'm looking at the website right now.
Yes.
It asked me to log in and agree that I'm 18 or over.
Absolutely.
Just barely. I just made the cut. So I'm just going to go through the website, and I'm going to click on shop, and I see that we have.
So the bling set, the blue bling set right there, the double one, that is one of that's actually on sale right now.
Okay.
So normally it's $45, I want to say, but right now it is on sale. We have it in multiple colors, and it's actually a good set to have because not only is it cute and pretty, but it's easy to conceal. So you can carry it wherever. It's super compact, so it can easily slip in your pocket, your purse, and it's a matching set with the stun gun and the pepper spray. So you get 2-in-1 as well as it's rechargeable, and you see the pepper spray as a keychain.
Yeah, and it's like you said, it's easy to conceal. Doesn't take up a lot of space.
Nope.
Right.
And then that's for women. It's aimed for women. I mean, anyone can carry it.
Yeah.
Safety is safety, you know. But we do have some that's not blinged out as well. So, so if you just want a solid color one, we have those as well. But that's our lipstick stun gun.
Okay, I'm looking at something on the website. It says 25 million volts stun gun. And am I wrong? Am I seeing something different?
No. That's exactly what it says.
All right. What does a 25 million volt stun gun do? I'm not going to do it now. I'm not saying I'm not going to do a mock attack.
Oh, okay. I was like, I probably can show you better than I could tell you, but
that's okay. Tell us.
So what it does is with the best thing I can explain to people is if you have you ever been shocked by something, like, you put something in a plug or you touch someone.
Yeah.
So imagine that voltage going through your body for 5 seconds nonstop, not at your control, but the control of someone else.
Oh, no.
So that's kind of like the closest thing I can relate to that we would on an everyday basis understand, because no one goes around just shocking themselves for fun,
That's true.
So that's the closest, unless you're a TikToker.
We're not listening to Jody right now.
I'm not a TikToker. That's shocking myself for fun. So I'll get my followers other way. So that's the closest we can explain, is that if it's continuously going through your body, it's an electrical current. That's pretty much what it is.
Okay, so how did you even get interested in self-protection, being aware, being alert? How did that come to be for you?
So I've always been a person of like knowing your surroundings, knowing what's going on around you, paying attention. I've always been big on that, just knowing what's going on. When I moved to Columbus, it was just my daughter and I, so we moved there. And as always, I am a social worker as well. I did DoorDash, I did Instacart, being out in the community, I just needed some protection. I didn't have a CCW. We didn't have the law at the time where you can just carry. So what other form of protection did I need? I didn't know. So I researched. So I spent about 6 months researching. And I realized during that research that not only was there a need for it, but there was lack of education. Yes, I can go to Hobby Lobby. Yes, I can go to any of these stores and buy it, but they weren't really educating me on it. It wasn't someone who was selling me these projects that had a passion for it. So that's when I was like, hey, I like, the more I learned about it, the more I wanted to invest.
All right, so I've got a lot of people that say, well, isn't that too dangerous to have on your person? What happens if somebody, if you're afraid to use it and they take it?
So if you're using one and someone take it from you, The thing is we have ones that have a safety pin. So if the pin is pulled out, then it doesn't work. So for those, I tell people, you put it on your wrist. If they take it from you, they just have a flashlight. So they can, they can throw it at you. Just catch it. It's not able to be used, So we do have disabling pins. If you look on the one that,
let me scroll up.
Nope, stay right there. The 10 million voltage self-defense carbon. Right to your right. That one. So that one actually, it looks like it has the pin in it. If you see it's around his wrist, so that it has a pin. So once you take it out, it won't work anymore. So we have those, and those are also great for people who have children. If you're afraid, like, hey, my child might get it, I always tell them get one with a pin. When it's at home, you can store it separately. You can take that pin out. That way, that if a child gets a hold of it, they simply only have a flashlight.
How do you recharge? It says rechargeable.
So they can plug into the wall. This one, it comes with a USB cord at the back of it. But most of them, or I'm not going to say most of them, some of them, you just plug it straight into the wall. So it just depends on, but everyone comes with a charger.
Okay. All right. So I heard about, there were some other things that you were doing in the community. And I want to close this out. There was something else. I saw the flyer.
Yes.
Let me see if I could bring it up. And I should have had this up before. I just froze.
So I'll just start. The flyer is, we have a girls group, Healing Courageously. So she is actually Andrea Davis. She's a master. She has a license as an independent social worker with a supervisor destination, CEO and clinical director. And then she also has a master of social work. So if you have seen the list of Black therapists, she is actually on there as well.
I saw that. I shared that.
Yes, so she's one of the therapists on there. She's starting a girls group, and she's asked me to, help her out with that. So I will be working with her on the girls group. We will be starting January 6th will be our first group. We will also have a boys group that will be starting in February as well. So I'll be working with her closely with that. It's a therapeutic group. And I just say, sign your girls up.
Okay, because I was going to ask, is it virtual or is it in person?
It's in person. It will be an in-person group.
All right. So how does or it says Healing Courageously?
Yes.
All right. That's awesome.
So that's the name of her company, the Healing Courageously.
All right. So what was it that made you decide, hey, look, this is a good idea and I really like to do this?
So she, originally we have talked a lot about just different groups. Of course, she is a independent clinical social worker who practices. So this is something she sees every day. Just my knowledge, my love for the youth, combined with her knowledge and her love for the youth, we just decided this is something we do. We're very involved in our community. We're very involved in our nieces and nephews' life. So it was only right, to share that knowledge. As we all see, there's a huge, huge need for our youth to be redirected in the right way. We always say our youth don't have role models, but they do have role models. It may not always be the right person that is their role model. So we have to start putting on the forefront the people who need to be leading our youth, and we have to stop sitting in the back. So this is exactly what this is. We're taking that step out for mental health, which is her area, and she's just bringing me on board, which I'm super grateful for, because she understands we kind of hold the same values.
All right. So what about the people that always say, well, young people don't need to talk. They need to listen. So, because some people don't believe that young people need somebody to talk to. They just think that they need to sit down, shut up, and listen. What would we say to those types of people that don't think that there's a need for girls' chat?
Then I'll tell them that you can't have a conversation without actually talking to someone. So if we want to learn from our youth are our future. So if you can't invest in your youth and hear their side and what they're saying, then you don't even understand their mind frame.
Wow.
So yes, we can talk to our youth all the time, but that doesn't mean that they're comprehending. That doesn't mean that they're understanding. And that doesn't mean that we don't need to change, because history repeats itself. And the only way you don't keep getting something that's repetitive is if you change it. And the only way you can change is if you listen. So that's where we are.
All right, now I tried to say one of your slogans about if I stay ready, I don't, what is it?
If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Okay, all right. So we're going to get ready to transition. I think we got one more person, Jody. All right.
Yes.
And this has been a great final podcast for the year. Even though we've had some freezing going on, and I think I got some freezing going right now, but let's see if I can fix that. I wanted to ask you this. 3 things that you're grateful for. What would your 3 things be?
I'm grateful for, one of the things are basic necessities, just having the access to basic things. I am a family advocate at a preschool, and I work with a lot of at-risk families, and it's made me humble myself in a lot of ways, just understanding that the simple things I take for granted, light bills, gas bills, just being able to pay those things, having a vehicle, just even being able to communicate. We have a lot of the like different Haitian families coming in and immigrants coming in, and we take for granted the fact that we have access, that we can just communicate with people freely, and we take that for granted.
Wow.
So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for family, and I'm grateful for life, that I'm able to just open my mouth, talk, breathe, and see. So just the simple things.
Hey, would you be willing to come back and talk about Pretty Protection, Girl Chat, and some of the other things that you...
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else before we close out?
Yes. Visit prettyprotection.com. Shop. You still have time to order things before the holiday. Use code BLING and you get 35% off. And I ship everywhere in the U.S. I'm better than Amazon.
All right. That's right. And also, we need to share this to our page too, so that they can... so the people that support us, if you support us, then support Pretty Protection too.
And sign your youth up for the youth group.
That's what's up. All right. Hey, this is CSRN Podcast, our weekend review. We'll be right back.
Bells will be ringing, the glad news. Oh, what a Christmas to have the blues. My baby's gone, I have no friend to wish me greeting once again. Choirs will be singing.
Now you can get the same uncompromising truth you've come to expect from the Final Call newspaper on all your connected devices. Subscribe to the Final Call Digital Edition today. Go to subscribe.finalcalldigital.com.
All right, we are back. What are you doing over there?
Well, I didn't know we was coming back.
Yeah. Podcast, our weekend review, and we're about to wind it down with our community outs and community concerns and shout outs that we do, where we talk about some of the things that we've been involved with over the week. You know what I want to do right now? I want to do our Justice or Else piece, because right after Justice or Else, right after every Black Friday, we be at the
Westfield, Franklin, whatever mall it
Franklin
is.
Park Mall, right? Letting everyone know, look, before you start spending with everybody else, spend with Pretty Protection. Spend where we live or with the people that look like us. Everybody else does that. And I want to read this piece from the Final Call newspaper, because this is really important, that as of 2024, as the 2024 holiday season approaches, large multi-billion-dollar retail outlets have already bombarded television, social media with advertisements and commercials to encourage and influence consumers to once again spend their hard-earned money on products and goods to fatten their coffers. This takes place amid the ongoing injustices plaguing Black and brown communities around the country. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's clarion call for economic boycotts of the holiday spending season came in the months leading up to the 20th anniversary of the Million Man March held October 10th, 2015, themed Justice or Else. The minister's call is still relevant today, he said. Blacks still spend the vast majority of their money buying outside of their communities, making other ethnicities richer each year with 1.8 trillion, and that's trillion with a T, Jody, in annual buying power while leaving themselves poor. The solution is the same. Boycott those other businesses and buy from Black-owned businesses, he added. And I said this last week, we are unique people that would blame white people for 95% of our problems and spend 98% of our money with them. You know, make that make sense. So family, this year, let's redistribute the pain. They don't like us. They're not like us, and we don't like them. So try your best to spend with your own, or just take that day and keep it in your pocket. Hey, that's our Justice or Else report. This is the last Justice or Else report that you'll have for 2025, unless we do one at Kwanzaa.
2024.
2024. All right. We'll be back in 2025.
Yep.
All right.
Just 2 weeks is not long.
All right. Jody, when we talk about community shout outs and concerns, what are some of the things that you've been a part of and we've been a part of that people need to know?
All righty. So as I mentioned on our last show, there are so many organizations doing end of the year toy raises and fundraisers and all kinds of stuff. So I'm just going to lump all you in there together. I know there's like 3 of them on the 21st. Y'all are doing awesome. We'll share them to the page if I can see them online, or you're more than welcome to tag us and let us know what's going on. And everything. What we do know we have sponsored, which I have been doing now for a decade. I was going through my memories and all that stuff, is Dunkin' for donations, which is happening regardless of all the people that said, oh, I'll take a year. And again, for my Black Lives Matter moment, I'm just going to lump that all in.
Okay, let's do it.
One paragraph.
Let's go.
Today, because right now is Black History Moment. Right now, we are making history by doing something our ancestors and our forefathers did not think were possible. We are completely independent going into our fourth year with guests and people that we meet from our actual community. We're not paying no celebrities to come over here. We're not paying no boosted post or stuff to make people watch. People genuinely want to watch. So in this moment, this is Black history.
Okay.
In this Black History Moment, I also want to thank Reggie Williams at the Frederick Douglass Center. Who has
shout
announced his leaving, which
as
is
executive director.
Yep, which is in one thing's in activism and organizing and protest, and all the stuff you need is a space to do it in. And he has provided us with the space, and so many others in the community with the space, by rebuilding what was, in the words of Brother Washington, a lost cause or something that we're going to leave to die. And he has revitalized, getting a new roof and all the stuff. So thank you for your services to this community. And I know wherever you go, you will be making an impact into.
Can I add one more thing about Reggie? Back in, this was maybe 2014 or 2015, a group of religious leaders came together and they called me to a meeting at a local church, popular church. And I got to the meeting. As I go to a lot of stuff, all right. And I get to the meeting, they're like, hey, Brother Washington, all right. So they sit down and they talk about how they want the Doug to die a natural death, and to not support the Doug, to not offer any assistance to the Doug, and just let it die, because they felt that there was some other program over there that they didn't like. Well, that didn't sit with me well, because I was the program coordinator for the Self-Expression Teen Theater for 20 years. So I've seen a lot of administrations come and go at the Doug, and the Doug is kind of a crown jewel of our community. So I went to the Doug where Reggie was the only person working at that time, and the Doug was suffering, but he was the only one that was mopping and sweeping. He was the only one that was picking up in the parking lot. He was the only one. So he brought the Doug back. If Reggie wasn't there to do what he did, and I was there, because a lot of the
they brought a guy,
a lot of the religious leaders.
He came. I remember he was a tall, dark dude.
Yeah,
he was there for a little bit, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good."
Right. I've seen all of them, but I just wanted to say that, unfortunately, as we strive to do what we're doing, there's other forces that look exactly like us that get up early to work against us. So shout out to Reggie for doing that. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, some of the people that are around us do not want you to succeed. And here's my list of names. And I know because I was there. They're like, oh, why did they have? And then I had to check myself. Hold on, Brother Washington. Why would they invite me to a Doug Hayton meeting? But I go to a lot of meetings, and I will tell it.
Never know.
I'll tell it. They know I know. I know where the bodies are buried. So it is what it is. So whatever Reggie's going to do next, I'm with him.
Yep. So there is that. And again, if you got any other.
Upset. All right. I wish somebody would say something, man.
I mean, again, life changes. Things are changing. Spoiler alert for me and for the people that's watched this show and all the other stuff and watch my behind the scenes stuff. And because there hasn't been nothing big about it, I guess the Blade did something, and I feel responsible since I've been there for 5 years. If you like going to Paco's at the Park downtown, go there before the 28th of this month, because after the 28th of this month, it is no longer a restaurant.
Oh.
They decided to kind of cut their losses, their ties. Is going to be an event center and catering area. So we are the last class, I guess you could say. We signed the button, did all our other stuff. We have our final party on the 29th, which will be closed. But if you want to go get a dog from Paco's, say hello to the crew and the staff. I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm going to try and make sure I get my bun off the wall. But
I didn't like the sound of that, but all right, we'll let that go without saying no Diddy.
Not gonna be long.
I didn't say no Diddy, all right?
No.
All right, I didn't say that.
If you're in Toledo, that is one thing. It's kind of innocuous, but it started by Burt Reynolds and stuff like that. It's like getting the key to the city or doing something important. And I met a lot of those people and stuff. And our restaurant is covered in history. It's been there like 25 years. So this season there will not be a Paco's at the park, which is interesting.
Okay.
Some things that did happen in our last show. Shout out to Danetta Carter in the 13th annual Christmas Bazaar. I was there again, as I always am and stuff. Lots of traffic, lots of good people, all that good stuff. So I look forward to, I believe she has an event in April, which we'll be sharing. Uncloistered Poetry Live, December 14th, was at the Attic on Adam. Shout out to Joni and all the people that were able to show up there. I was doing several other things, finishing my last parties. My condolences again to June and his family. We had the kind of our artist funeral wake type revival at the Code this Sunday for the second time. So that was awesome. Shout out to Robin. She speaks Schaefer. Respect Your Crown. Code staff, bar crew, everybody that did perform, Two-Tone or Holly, as people know her, and all that stuff. So it was good. And then I think that's about it. We are going off air for 2 weeks. I am taking a 2-week vacation. I got Kwanzaa to do, as y'all heard me kind of agree to and stuff that I've been doing. Why even one of my pieces have a song in it now, because I've been doing the National Black Anthem. Yeah.
Oh Lord.
So for the last
3, I'm down, man.
I want to say 3 years I've been doing the National Black Anthem, which people really don't know unless you come to Kwanzaa.
True.
It's like that reading the book for information. But yeah, so I look forward to Kwanzaa and my 2 weeks of not having to look at my phone every 5 minutes, or a group or a board or something like that.
All right. Hey, family, if you like what we do, we'd like you to subscribe to our YouTube, share, leave a comment, and we're trying to get up to, what is it, 100,000 subscribers?
100,000. Get one of them little plaques.
We are far from that, but we on the way.
We're probably closer to my poetry page.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know about that, but just type it in, community solidarity. It'll come down. Hit the notification, subscribe, so whenever we have a podcast, you'll get the notification first. I may need to do that myself, but I think I'm a subscriber. If you want any of the Black Lives Matter signs while we're freezing up again, if you want one of the Black Lives Matter signs, we still have the Black Lives Matter signs. We've got the defund the police signs. We have just maybe a few left, so you'll be maybe one of the few on your block with the defund the Toledo police sign, defund12.org/Toledo. And also be aware for the update for our citizen review board, because we're gonna grade TPD, all right? And it's about time someone graded it, except besides the cherry pick folks that they normally have to do that. And if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, listen to us on Spotify. Don't forget YouTube. And as soon as Jody rids himself of the grudge against X, formerly known as Twitter.
No, Leon. Leon, I called him Elon. Elon, that's my
Leon,
grudge.
that's the black one. All right, all right. So
I have grudge Elon just like I do with Trump.
All right, so all right, thanks. Well, we never get that back. That's what you. So as always, we're gonna transition to 5 minutes of heat. All right, and go ahead.
Before 5 minutes of heat, again, I want to thank one last time, because again, we're going off air for 2 weeks. All the people that's followed us, all our guests, and remember for next year, because I don't think we even think about, like, we really run a radio podcast show that people want to like it on and stuff here.
Oh, that's true.
If you see us out in public, or if you heard about it online, just access. It's a 15-20-minute conversation with you. We are not a topic show. We are not a gossip show. We are here to inform the community about people that don't get much attention. And that's basically what we are. Nothing new, not trying to reinvent the wheel. What you see is what you get. We are not changing our background for you. So if you are offended by anything that's on our wall that is not a green screen, you already know what's going on over here. And I think.
All right. So if you saw our podcast and as we were promoting it today, we had Haley, we had Rodney from Kwanzaa, we had Dr. Anthony Pattin, and also we had Gerald Rose of the New Order Human Rights Organization. Unfortunately, I feel like the Academy Award wasn't able to make it. However, he was here to advocate for some families at Beverly School. I think it's important that we have advocates in our community. So shout out to New Order Human Rights Organization for having a press conference today, for advocating for families and those young people, because it's hard, because sometimes parents can feel a little bit intimidated by the teachers and the staff, and they need some backup. All right, so shout out to Gerald Ford. Yeah, man. I agree with that. Let's about
so that's the white man.
That is right. But we're talking about the real Gerald, our brother Gerald Rose, for advocating for that family, and we wish him and that family much success, and whatever we can do to promote New Order, whatever we can do to back him up, hey, we down for that. If you don't like it, you don't like it. We ain't hard to find. He's not harder to find than me. So, it's on if it is. All right. So 5 minutes of heat. This is the way we close out. Instead of having a gavel hit the table and saying meeting is adjourned, we have a different way of closing out. And we use artistic expression, and Jody has been our resident 5 minutes of heat. Maybe, I guess, 10 years now. All right.
Yeah.
What do you have for us today?
All righty. So, yes, for 10 years, I've been doing this. 10 years ago, I did not know anything that was going on that would be happening today in my world. And I was, as I was transitioning from one life to another, I wrote a piece called Simple Man, which is one of the first 5 things that I ever memorized and have taken all over the world with me and everything like that. And I think that's fitting because in March, I celebrate 10 years as an independent performer and about 25 in the business or more. Because, yeah, stuff. So that's what this piece is. I look forward to hearing it back myself, too, as I'm a whole different being than I was 10 years ago. So, my last also intro of the year. I am an open book, yes, an open book to those that decide to read. 1,000 words, yes, 1,000 words to those who've only caught a glimpse of me. And a lifetime, yes, a lifetime, to those that can say they were part of my story. If you are anywhere under the sound of my voice, you are now family. Because on this stage, yes, on this stage is where I share the most vulnerable parts of myself. And I hope, yes, I hope that you hear me. So let's begin. Peace. Simple Man. I would love to live up to the person people make me out to be. Strong-willed, outspoken, never sheds a tear. Always, yes, always has something positive to say. And always, yes, always a smile on my face. But I am just a simple man, you see, who most of the time I am filled with fear, regret, and responsibility. But hope, yes, hope, that this simple man, yes, this simple man can bring some type of unity into his community. Where I bear the full weight, the full weight that I cannot fail because there's no one, absolutely no one to catch me if I fall. Just a simple man looking for someone to trust as much as I believe in myself and not be deceived by the few lost souls whose hearts are hardened and calculating from trusting just one too many. Just a simple man that has seen through the eyes and lives of others and wants to do more for the lost, forgotten, misunderstood, outcast, and rejects, whose only crime is believing that there is no box but the one that you create. You say, I am far from being rich and too informed to simply ask for wealth to fix it all. So I lend you my ear and knowledge from past mistakes and hopes just to reach one. It's one that will evade most of the mistakes that this simple man, yes, this simple man has made in the time given to him. I want more than I believe time will allow me to complete. I am a simple man with dreams bigger than my wallet and hopes and imagination that cannot be quantified, calculated, or determined, yes, determined by someone's doubt. What makes me a simple man, you see, is not faith, age, race, fear, income, or pain, but the fact that while I speak, yes, while I speak, you respond. And I know I'm not alone because I still have the attention of those I have yet to reach. In peace.
And as always, we snap our fingers. All right. So, any plans for your 2 weeks?
Be at home and not answer my phone. Go in airplane mode. I wish I could, but I can't because, Dunkin' for donations. I got the last Christmas party. I got 2 more days of work. I've only been working on Fridays since October, and, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to write book 23 now. I'm not taking any more offers for more magazines. I'm just going to knuckle down, get 23. I got some ideas I wanted to put in Childhood Trauma Series 2, like even a hidden book, a book within a book within a book. Because I'm never publishing child or lost storytellers, so that's what I might do. But either way, you guys will see it on my page. Follow Brother Washington. Get yourself a final call, and happy holidays to you all out there.
And as we say, all lives can't matter until
Black lives matter.
And Black lives can't matter until
all Black lives matter.
Justice or else?
Yeah, yeah.
Peace.